Hello friend, welcome back to a new video of critical reasoning. So let us understand what is critical reasoning. Here I'm going to cover the basic of critical reasoning. So let us understand what is reasoning. So reasoning means logic. And what does logic mean? So logic means argument. Argument is somewhere we can say based on assumption. So it is based on author's assumption. And let us understand logic. So logic always comes from argument. And argument, as I discussed, I told you that it is author's assumption. So let us understand about critical reasoning. Critical reasoning tests your critical thinking and logical skills more than your reading skills. In critical reasoning, we need to understand a couple of things which are quite crucial. First one is premise. So premise means a piece of information based on fact or evidence. It is premise. Premise is generally forms the basis for a conclusion. So premise plays a role to create a conclusion or to reach at conclusion. Generally, premise plus assumption equal to conclusion. So the relationship between premise and conclusion lies on assumption or author's assumption. Moving further, understand premise. So generally premise supports conclusion. So conclusion equal to premise plus assumption. So let us understand here with one example. All professors are ethical. Mason is a professor. So Mason is ethical. First of all, understand here in this passage, or I'm so sorry, in this question, there is a marker. So whenever in the question there is so or so family markers such as therefore, that is why, hence, thus, it is all about conclusion. So understand here, all professors are ethical. So Mason is a professor. So here all professors are ethical and Mason is a professor. So therefore Mason is ethical. So the author wants, or the writer assumes, that professors are ethicals and Masons are professor. Therefore Masons are ethical. So it is all about assumption of the author. Here, let us understand what is the role of assumption. What is the meaning of assumption? So assumption means a hidden information or a fact. So hidden premise. I can say assumption means hidden premise. Moving further, let's understand the more about critical reasoning. Premise. So if any sentence begins with because family means I can say because itself, since, for, because itself, since, for example, due to, owing to, this can be seen as. So it is the marker of premise. So whenever you see such words, so feel that or believe that it is related to premise. And generally, moving further, I can say conclusion is the derived information from the premise. So there is a link between conclusion and premise. So somewhere conclusion is dependent on premise, and between this line, there is author's assumption that is called assumption itself. So the conclusion is generally the first or the last sentence of a stimulus. Stimulus means, what does stimulus mean? Stimulus means a passage. What are the markers of conclusion? So markers of conclusions are, I can say, so family. So family means therefore, so itself, thus, hence, consequently, as a result, for this reason, so. Moving further, I'm going to pick one question or couple of questions based on assumption, and before that, I'm going to tell you how to find out premise and conclusion. Here, see, this is a question. Because you are listening to me. So as I told you, because family, or whenever the sentence starts with because, so it is premise. Therefore, you must be a serious student of CLAT. The question is, because you are listening to me, therefore, you must be a serious student of CLAT. Here, this part, therefore, after therefore, you must be a serious student of CLAT. This is conclusion. And before that, because you are listening to me, it is premise. Moving further, let us understand. Humans cannot live on Venus because the surface temperature is too high here. So, because the surface temperature is too high is premise. And the conclusion is humans cannot live on Venus. So it is premise part. Next is Simran is well experienced and she is keen to play the role of manager. Hence, she should do any MBA course. So this hence is the family of so. Therefore, it is conclusion and rest is premise. Now, moving further in this critical reasoning session, I'm going to pick a couple of questions based on assumption. So read the question and understand how to do the assumption question. See this. So the question is, okay, so let me tell you, this is a passage and this passage is known as stimulus. Fine. This is question and it is also known as question stem. I repeat the information. This is the question and this is known as question stem. So moving further, and these A, B, C, D, E are choices. Now come to the passage and read the passage. The passage is, a poor farmer was fond of telling his children, in this world, you are either rich or poor, and you are either honest or dishonest. All poor farmers are honest. Therefore, all rich farmers are dishonest. So understand here. First of all, this part. Therefore, all rich farmers are dishonest. So because of therefore, I can say it can be conclusion of the passage. Fine. However, let us understand author's point of view in this passage. So the author assumed that. So here, because of assumes that, This is a marker of assumption. So whenever there is assumes that in the question, it means it is assumption question. Moving further, the question is, a poor farmer was fond of telling his children, in this world, you are either rich or poor, and you are either honest or dishonest. All farmers are honest. So the author believes that either one can be rich or poor, or one can be honest or dishonest. So author final point of view is that all poor farmers are honest, and the conclusion is therefore all rich farmers are dishonest. So author believed that either one can be honest and then poor, or dishonest and rich. So all poor farmers are honest, therefore all rich farmers are dishonest. Let us understand and try to solve the question. So the farmer's conclusion is properly drawn if the argument assumes that. The farmer's conclusion is properly drawn. Every honest farmer is poor. This is the particular point of view the author has, and the same we are looking for in the question. However, I'm not going to pick the answer. After reading all choices, we will come to the answer point of view. So every honest person is a farmer. So in the question, we are not talking about every honest person. However, every honest farmer can be poor, or poor farmer can be honest. But this is not every honest person. By the way, the question or the author's assumption is related to every farmer, not every person. Therefore, B is out. Next, everyone who is dishonest is a rich farmer. Again, read the question. In the passage, the author is not talking about common people like everyone. The author's perception is related to poor farmer or rich farmer, not everyone. Therefore, C is out. What about D? Again, everyone poor is honest. Here, the author's perception is not everyone. Therefore, it is also out of scope. Next, every poor person is a farmer in E option. In the question, every poor farmer, either honest or dishonest. So the question choices are not talking about poor farmer or rich farmer. Instead of that, they are talking about every poor person, everyone. So it is not up to the passage. So I will go with A point. So friends, I'm going to say bye-bye for today in this session. We will meet in another video.